Hey everybody, Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you had a great day. A lot to discuss today, a lot to unpack. Let's go through the first part, the synopsis first. Peter Thiel getting out there and saying Bitcoin is, the most honest market, pointing out a couple of failed central banks or bankrupt. Even Lebanon has said, yeah, we're bankrupt. So that's one thing. Coinbase launched a brand new debit card, a cryptocurrency debit card. It's got a rotating rewards program, and we'll get into that. I find that to be pretty interesting. Worldpay and checkout.com have both acknowledged that there is huge demand for crypto in the e-commerce space. We'll dig into that because you know who is involved in that. Something that's really interesting is that Bitcoin and Ethereum fees have also dropped. Bitcoin fees are at an all-time low, and Ethereum fees are less than $6. So that's a big deal. CashApp. This is interesting. After the big hack that they had earlier this week, they've actually launched a few things with regard to Bitcoin, their Bitcoin integrations. One of them being get paid in Bitcoin. So that's an interesting thing. But we'll get into all that. Like I said, it's been a busy day. It's Bitcoin Conference 2022 going on right now. So let's start with Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, in case you don't know who this guy is co-founder of PayPal and Palantir. Those are two huge companies, just in case you didn't know. And I have more to talk about with regard to PayPal a little bit later on. But at the Bitcoin 2022 conference, he said, hey, listen, Bitcoin is the most honest market out there. It's even a bellwether for what could come. I pretty much agree with that. But he also identified that, hey, there are a lot of bankrupt central banks that are out there. I mean, even Lebanon's deputy prime minister came out and said, yeah, the state is bankrupt and so is our central bank. That's huge. And it's not just bankruptcies that are out there. It's just, countries that, have poor fiat. Argentina, Venezuela, just to name a couple, El Salvador. You have countries around the world that just are not doing well, right? I will note one thing. Slovenia, tiny little country in Europe near Italy, said that they're going to implement a flat 5% crypto tax. Yeah, that's what I said. That's huge. So when you look at adoption around the world, we have a couple of adoption stories that caught my attention today, and we'll dig into that, as we go on in this report. But there's a reason I've been saying for a while. There are reasons why countries with poor fiat or that are in danger are adopting cryptocurrencies. There you go. Right? The hyperinflation. Venezuela's got hyperinflation. Turkey's got crazy inflation. I think they're at like 61% or something like that. Those are huge problems. Those aren't little problems. Those are huge problems. Huge problems. So, if you're looking at how you might be able to help your country, well, cryptocurrencies are a way that you might be able to help your country get out of that problem. Anyway, Coinbase introduced, they're not the first, by the way. They're not the first to introduce a cryptocurrency debit card. I mean, Binance has one, BlockFi has one. There are several companies that are out there that have them. But there is an increased amount of competitiveness within the centralized exchange space. Coinbase, FTX, crypto.com, Binance, all of them are vying for more market share. And like I said, to me, it's not about market share. It's about what can you do for me. And even if one wallet could do everything for me, I don't care. I'm never going to have just one wallet. Hell, I'm probably never going to have two. I'm always going to have multiple wallets. I might use one more than the others, but there's always going to be more than a single wallet that I do leverage. Think about that. But this debit card thing could be a very big deal because that's going to help adoption. This means that I can walk into a store, purchase something, use my debit card, boom, done. gain rewards. I can gain, depending on what it is that you're doing, you might be able to gain up to 4% in cash back using certain cryptos. This is a very big deal, right? So if you have the debit cards that are in place, pretty soon companies like mine are going to be helping small businesses, large businesses do their e-commerce with crypto. We're testing it right now. So we're just a hair away from actually launching it. So when you look at everything that's going on, you're looking at a huge amount of adoption that's being built up. Huge. I mean, even in Miami, you have restaurant chains that are saying, okay, we got to implement, crypto, because the young people are walking in the door saying, hey, can I use my crypto? It's not just for hodling anymore. Just thought I'd throw that out there. When you look at that increased demand, it's becoming more and more and more and more and more. And when you look at Ethereum and Bitcoin having lowered gas fees, it's one of those things where you say, wow, the two big boys in the space are having decreased fees for transactions, and they're lightning quick. Some of these other coins are not going to be able to brag that, oh, we've got lower fees. Oh, now everybody's got lower fees. So what's your differentiator now? And there will be more competition there. Hence, there will be more reason to have true usefulness and adoption. Okay? So that's something to think about as you're doing your own research. Like I say, always do your own research. Now, CashApp, after that big hack that they had this week, them launching their Bitcoin integration is actually a very big deal. It's a very big deal. So much that Cathie Wood, ARK Investments, Cathie Wood has dropped PayPal. Remember I told you I'd talk about PayPal? Here you are. She dropped her PayPal holdings and said, hey, CashApp is the best in breed, and they're building from the ground up as opposed from top down. She was on CNBC when she said it. So a lot of people heard that. I had a debate with one of my friends, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm happy that's what she chose to do with regard to PayPal, but I think that's a long-term mistake. And the reason why is because PayPal, people, at least in the United States, people do not start their new business, their new small business, their little side hustle with a credit card. Meaning they're not immediately doing credit card transactions. You know what they're doing? They're letting PayPal do their credit card transactions. It means they have a PayPal account. That means if PayPal comes out with an integration, they're already going to be there. They're already going to be there. Just like I said yesterday with PayMaya in Philippines. Because they already have that captive audience, when they launch something, it's right there. They already have it. They don't have to do anything. PayPal's got that advantage. CashApp, yes, it's growing in adoption and things like that, but PayPal has Venmo and a few other properties, so that's something to think about, right? So when I think about this, I just say that demand is going to be there. So as you're looking at debit cards, as you're looking at those debit cards, sorry, somebody's screaming over there, and I asked them to be quiet. You're looking at debit cards. You're looking at businesses looking to get into e-commerce with crypto transactions. You're looking at companies like mine that are helping businesses get involved with cryptos, even consulting on crypto technology. The amount of groundswell around crypto adoption is humongous, and not just from an investment perspective. It's from a usage perspective. Let that wash over you for a minute and keep that in your mind as you do your research on where to invest and what to use. It's growing, and it's growing more and more. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Actually, you know what? I almost forgot to do something. Let's go over the numbers, because it's been a horrible day. It's been a horrible couple of days. So let's go look at this. Let's push that, go over here. All righty. As you can see, losers, not all too bad. Everybody's kind of in the middle. Winners, yeah, sure, maybe, kind of, sort of. Let's see who's over there. Remember, Akala was over here yesterday. Who else was over on the bad side? There are probably a couple of them. Ethereum, I know I don't have Ethereum Classic, but that was over on the bad side yesterday. Now today they're up 12%. Akala is up 12%. Pocket Network is up 11%. So these are the things I'm looking at. Engine was on the bad list for a little while, and they're up 10%. Again, we're looking for rhythms. There are rhythms that happen, and there's news that happens. Pay attention to the rhythms. Pay attention to the news. When you start to get that, you know what your next step is going to be? Pay attention to how certain coins move against other coins. And you'll start to see correlations, opposites. You know, you might see that. You might see things moving in tandem, right? So these are the things that you're looking for. You might see one raise faster than the other, raise higher than the other, go, not as much, go lower where one is going higher. These are the rhythms that we're looking for. And that's what helps, right? That's what helps. Looking at everything else, you're kind of like, well, it's still 34%, you know, on the bad side. We're still in the fear territory, far down from neutral, and definitely far down last week when we were enjoying some greed. We're looking at, you know, Bitcoin still being at 43,000. So that's a big deal, right? Bouncing around at a lower level, a level that we were at just a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why everybody's flipping out. You shouldn't be, you know. And then you have cryptocurrencies in general. Yeah, they're kind of in green, but they're really not. Pay attention to this. Yesterday, you know, Solana was at what? 114, and now it's at 120. Thank you very much. Again, do your research, understand what's going on. Do they have news that dropped and that's why they bounced up? Were they oversold and that's why people got back in? What is it that's making coins move? Again, do your research and start to understand those rhythms. Really start to understand those rhythms. Here's Near Protocol, up 14%. These are things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for what are protocols that I'm interested in, what are projects that I'm interested in that are doing things. Right? And as you find them, you'll be attracted to them. And you'll say, oh, okay, I see what Solana's doing. Look at that, up 5% today. Ooh, that's not bad. But for the past 30 days, up almost 50%. You start to pay attention. You start to look at things. You start to look at things differently, right? Look at Terra Luna, down, up 20% in the past 30 days, but down today, 4%. That's an opportunity to me. But you have Cardano up 5%, not a big deal, right? But it's at 2%, so they're not really up. But in the past 30 days, up 37%. You've got to pay attention to those rhythms. What do they have going on? For Cardano, there was actually a brand new staking platform attached to it today. Just launched. Native staking. That's a big deal. That's going to have an impact. I think their TVL, you know, total value locked was at 202 million yesterday, you know, because they dropped dramatically. Either 202 or 220. I forget which one. I think it was 202. But no, it was 220. Dropped dramatically from the 320 that it was a few days prior to that. And today I think it's at 232 million. It's crazy to think about, you know, these large numbers, you know, just, it's nuts. So as Cardano continues to grow, it's going to continue to do things. Looking at Doge and SHIB, nothing going on right now. But there was a little bit of news that there's more going on in the SHIB universe. Right? There's more going on in the SHIB universe. They're about to launch a few things later on this month that have to do with the metaverse. That's going to be interesting. Right? You know, the founder of Doge came at them. Oh, it's just a money grab for the developers. Listen, if you develop something, you deserve to get paid. Not your fault that he didn't. Sorry, but you know, it is what it is. But looking at SHIB, I think there's something there. Looking at Matic, this is a big drop. This is a big drop. In a matter of days, they went from $1.71 to $1.52. You know, they're up. They were lower than that. All of these coins are still on sale. I don't know why people are freaking out. These coins are still on sale, nowhere near all-time highs. I think a lot of these coins are going to wind up reaching all-time highs by the end of the year, though. I think that's going to happen. I think that's definitely going to happen. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope I was able to share something with you that you found valuable. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping a new video. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.